gained some training at Tokai Regional Fisheries Research Laboratory in Tokyo. He's unique in the sense he has 11 years experience as a captain on a fishing vessel. He served as a professor, and he's been working extensively with FAO over the past few years, in particular helping to train fishermen. Mr. Connolly will be discussing the status of fishery resources off Brazil, especially as they are being impacted as bycatch, and how his current research is directed at reducing this bycatch. Mr. Connolly.
Well, thank you very much. I wish to thank Southeastern Fisheries Association to give me this opportunity, and not only for me, for my country, and also to meet so many people with the same interest. It's been a great honor to meet you all, and I have learned a lot. Brazil has many problems with bycatch because of our vast coastline. Since, for example, starting in the north of Brazil, the Amazon region, bycatch has no interest because the boats stay 45 days at sea and they can't bring bycatch back. In the northeast of Brazil, bycatch is a bonus from the sea. Fishermen salt dry or sell fresh all the bycatch. Only poisonous species are discarded. If you ask them or tell them to avoid bycatch, they'll probably shoot you. In the south of Brazil, bycatch is a problem, and the fishermen are only interested in the commercial size species. And we have some areas of conflict between the demersal trawls and the shrimp trawls. The demersal trawls, legally, they have to use 90mm meshes, and the fishermen, the shrimp fishermen use 40mm. So then the pair trawlers say, why can't we use 40mm meshes? So we have been done some experiments since 1985. We have had the honor to participate in other events in Mexico and in Mazatlan, and also in Canada. And we have learned a lot from the National Fisheries Services, through John Watson, from John Wardle, with his experience of underwater behavior. So based on his works, we have tested several skate panels. We have not been successful because we fish big shrimps, and fishermen don't admit losing one. And also, we have problems with big rays and big sharks that clog these selected sections and panels. So we're having problems. We have no good results on selected panels. What we have been looking in, it was something that I discussed in '86 and '88 in these meetings, and then after '88 I said, well, I think I should sit down and start to work. We have been testing short nets, very short trawls, because normally in fishing, some of the trawls are quite long. And as you saw on Dr. Wardle's presentation, fish get very tired. And if you try to exclude fish near the cod in long nets, they're already tired when they get there. So we tried short nets, and you're going to see in a video. I brought a video, so I don't need to get very nervous. And also, I hope to go on well at the time. You can see it's very strict. But I can also tell I have my Brazilian community checking the time, checking you also. So, just before we start the film, I apologize, there are two mistakes. I say in one part that the short net's on starboard, and my friend played me a trick. He designed the nets on port side. And also, because I'm commentating so many tons and tons, so the short net reduced the fish in about 3,000 kilos per trip. And I say 3,000 tons. It's only a little mistake. So please, the film. Along the 4,590 nautical miles of coastline, Brazil has two main trawling regions. The first is in the north and the second in the south. The third developing area is located on the northeast coast. In the northern Amazon region, 187 steel double-rigged trawlers catch 5,800 tons of pink shrimp per year. In this region, bycatch from the commercial shrimp fleet is composed of 147 species, of which 76% are juvenile or commercial value, but 98% are discarded. The fishing companies have no interest in this fish because of the long periods at sea, 45 days, and the lack of storing space in the shrimp holds. The total bycatch is over 21,000 tons, and the waste also over 20,000 tons. The northeast coast of Brazil is characterized by a typical tropical climate, warm waters and coral seabed. Trawling activities are located only on muddy bottoms near river outlets. 410 small trawlers operate very near the coast in shallow waters up to 20 meters. This fleet catches an average of 1,541 tons of sea bob and white shrimp. In the northeast region, the shrimp bycatch is very important economic resource. The fish bycatch is nearly totally consumed by local markets, sold fresh or salted dry. Only poisonous species are discarded. The main reason for all this waste is due to the daily fishing trips and the social economic problems of this area. The fish bycatch total landings in 1990 was 2,390 tons. The waste is estimated at 215 tons. The southern regions are the major fishing grounds of Brazil. Trawling activities are directed to shrimp and bottom fish. The shrimp fishery is very important and is divided into three classes. The first is characterized by a fleet of 257 big double-rigged trawlers which fish pink shrimp. The second fleet consists of 556 medium-sized double-rigged trawlers. These boats work near the coast catching sea bob and white shrimp. The last shrimp fleet has nearly 4,300 boats that are operated by artisanal fishermen. These vessels are small, open dories equipped with central diesel engines. The bycatch in the sea bob fishery is very significant. The small open shrimpers and the medium trawlers operate very close to the beaches with very small meshes, 24 millimeter stretch length. The nets have a low vertical opening, so they only catch small juvenile fish that are all discarded. Fish bycatch in the southern regions of Brazil represents a very high average ratio, 1 kilo of shrimp to 15 kilos of bycatch. That can increase to 1 to 44 kilos of bycatch, according to the season of the year. Of this total bycatch, 12% is landed, and over 258,000 tons are discarded back to sea. In 1986, 35% of the catch was landed for human consumption. The increase of rejection from 65% to 88% is due to the reduction of fish stocks that are seriously in danger as a consequence of trawling activities with no selectivity. In the last 10 years, one more factor has also contributed to the increase of discarded fish: the reduction of shrimp and fish stocks. Now it is necessary to trawl longer to obtain the same catch yields, but this effort only increases the bycatch of juvenile fish that are very representative in landings. Finfish trawling in the south of Brazil is also a major activity and is responsible for a great quantities of bycatch. The 130 pair trawlers operate near the coast and discard 38% of their catch. One pair trawler discards over 1,700,000 juvenile commercial fish per year. These numbers are only for the 4 major species. A total of 230 trawlers land 31,500 tons and discard 12,600 tons at sea. Since 1985, the Southeast Fisheries Research Center, SEPSU IBAMA, is working on the development of selective trawl nets and testing new technology on board commercial fishing boats. Considering the 3 different bycatch situations due to the social-economic aspects of Brazilian regions, the research programs were directed to A. Develop selective nets to reduce bycatch in the northern shrimp fleet and for the artisanal sea bulb fishery in the south, where fish catches have no economic importance. B. The development of selective nets for the southern industrial fleet that permits the escape of juvenile fish, catching only shrimp and commercial-sized species. C. Introduce square mesh or other selective methods in the pair and stern trawler fleet. All these experiments were and are being carried out on board commercial fleet. To reduce the total fish bycatch, especially for the northern region, trials were done changing the shape of the traditional nets. In fish trawl design, especially in midwater trawls, it is well known that the net needs a long body and tunnel with a low tapering. This is needed to trap the fish during haulback. Wardle and Watson have already shown in underwater observation that fish swim always in the same direction of the trawl, and that they try to swim out of the net when the speed is reduced. In shrimp fisheries, the tapering of nets in the belly are 1N2B or 1N4B. This means that big nets tend to have longer bellies, and consequently they increase fish bycatch. Normally, small trawls or twin gear systems catch more shrimp and less fish than traditional big trawls. Based on these theories, experiments were done with short tapered nets, all bar cut in the belly. This tapering reduces the net's belly length in 8.85 meters. The long net total length was 20.1 meters and the short net 11.25 meters. To evaluate the differences in bycatch, these nets were tested on a commercial vessel, 18 meters length and 100 HP horsepower motor, using twin trawl systems. On the starboard side, 2 9.5 meter trawls with a taper of 1N2B, and on port side 2 short 9.5 meters AB cut nets. The experiments were done during 2,940 trawling hours in the commercial fishing conditions. The first test for selecting bycatch in Brazil was done in 1986 in the southern region, using square mesh netting in a tunnel just in front of the codden. To avoid shrimpscapes through this area, a funnel was fixed ahead of the square mesh to drive all the catch into the codden. Fish with a more active behavior would react and escape through the open meshes. This test demonstrated that the funnel was not efficient because it got clogged with big fish such as rays, sharks and weeds. The second experiment with this same type of scape section was developed on board the commercial fleet using square meshes, but the funnel was modified. A simple panel of netting was joined to the beginning of the square meshes and stretched down like a tongue. This modified the original conical entrance of the funnel to a wide oval entrance near the lower netting. During the test, a second tongue was introduced just at the end of the square mesh panel and the beginning of the codden. A project to modernize the finfish bottom trawling in the south of Brazil is underway. The main objective is to introduce square mesh coddens, sections and other methods on this commercial fleet. The work is based on testing and transferring the results of experiments with codden design developed by the Marine Laboratory Scotland and other research institutions directly to the local trawling fleet. The experiments with short shrimp trawls achieved promising results. The total bycatch was reduced in 17% and shrimp catches increased in 5%. This demonstrates that the trawls do not need long bellies or extension coddens. Once the shrimp passes the ground rope, they jump and become passive. During haulback, 15% of the small bycatch and 24% of the big commercial fish swim out or avoid short trawls. Shrimp do not escape. Shorter nets offer less resistance. Consequently, there is a gain in horizontal spread and more shrimp are caught. Less netting is used. The net becomes easier to handle and cheaper. Better acceptance by crews and boat owners. There is a limitation on short nets. They need a minimum length equal to the distance from the deck to the end of the boom. The short belly and the AB cut makes the meshes more open. The experiments with scape sections reduced the bycatch in 48% with 2 tongues and 23% with only 1 tongue in comparison with the conventional trawls. The loss of shrimp was 27%, and these numbers are too high to be accepted by the fishermen. The tongue solved the problems with clogging that had occurred with funnels in the first test. The lack of underwater observation during the trials with scape panels makes the work much more difficult to estimate where the shrimp are escaping or how the fish react. Considering the total national waste of over 292,000 tons of fish per year, the bycatch must be regarded as a major problem and a threat to fish stocks. The small artisanal double-rigged trawlers has a very important socio-economic activity, but inshore trawling with small meshes is putting at risk the whole ecosystem of the region. The development of selective trawls for tropical shrimps fished in shallow waters, mostly up to 40 meters, has shown that it is a very difficult matter because of the behavior of over 147 different species closely mixed with the shrimp. The videos on underwater observation produced by the National Marine Fisheries Service are very important for Brazil because of the similarity of the pinnate shrimp fisheries. The results with separating panels need further research to avoid shrimpscapes and to develop simple and practical methods for the commercial fleet. Expensive and complicated nets will not be accepted by traditional fishermen. The short taper nets were considered a major progress in reducing bycatch without losing shrimps. The reduction of 17% of the total fish catches and 24% in commercial size species represents an average survival of 3,000 tons of fish per trip, or some thousands of tons of juvenile fish. This principle is being introduced to the commercial fleet with very good acceptance because no further modifications are needed. The reduction of bycatch in the fin fish, pair and stern trawler fleet depends only on the transfer of selective cordons, such as square meshes, directly on board the commercial boats. The results available from experiments developed by the Marine Laboratory from Scotland gives excellent support for this work. Bycatch selectivity or avoidance are very complex matters. The development of new selective fishing gear will only be possible with direct underwater observation and with the exchange of international experiences.